And we are here with Mitch Winehouse. Sorry for the technical difficulties. This is Lisa Sharkey from Harper Collins, and Facebook Live technology is due to having not as strong a Wi-Fi as we would always like. Mitch was telling us about the good works of the Amy Winehouse Foundation, which has been around since we lost Amy 5 years ago. Tell us some stories about some lives, without using any names of people whose lives have been affected for the positive as a result of the good works.
Well, if you just take the schools project on its own, the evaluations are carried out by Harvard and Bath universities, as we said before, and the evaluation was carried out amongst a group of people, and 80% of them said now, after our people have been in there and talked to them, that they won't be indulging in alcohol abuse or drug taking. So just there, you've got a tremendous impact. And Amy's Yard is a project that works with young people who are, some of them are struggling with a great deal of adversity, mental health issues. All of them are emotionally challenged in one way or another, and financially challenged. They have no money whatsoever. So one of the things that we have to do is make sure that when they come to Amy's Yard, that we feed them and that we nurture them. And it's not just about 12 master classes in music. They're all pretty good musicians. It's also about teaching them life skills. And the young people that come through there, they find, a lot of them find a purpose in life. Where they couldn't get a job before, now a number of them are being employed. So it's not just a question of teaching them to be better musicians, it's giving them the kind of life skills and the opportunity to just speak to people, because a lot of young people in the UK are kind of in their own bubble, so to speak, and some of them don't even talk to anybody else, or they have nobody to speak to. So it's important that we're able to facilitate that.
Do you have advice for anybody that is in need? How could they get in touch with the Amy Winehouse Foundation? What is the best way to reach out so that they can have a crisis solved or help a young person in need?
Well, we're not counsellors or therapists, but what we would do is we would signpost people to where to go, and that's just something else that we do. So we work with counsellors and therapists, but they can always reach us on www.amywinehousefoundation.org, and whether they're in the USA or they're in the UK or anywhere in the world, that'll get through to us, and we would try and help them in whatever way that we can.
In the past 5 years, have your reflections about your life as Amy's dad, have they changed at all from those initial weeks and months of shock?
Yeah, they have. They say that time is a great healer, and I guess to a certain extent it is. Our loss, as everyone else's who loses a child, is devastating, and you just got to find a way to deal with that, to cope with it, and you're never going to get over it. You just got to find a way to carry on. Amy was a fighter. She dealt with her drug addiction. She was dealing with her alcoholism. She never gave up, and we won't give up. We have to move forward, because if we stop, that's when, if I stop, that's when things get bad for me. And I'd rather not be in that position. I'd rather just carry on doing what I'm doing, rather than go back to where I was 4 or 5 years ago, which was not a very nice place.
So you're a grandfather now.
I am.
And Amy would have been an auntie.
Yes, she would.
Tell us a little bit about your relationship as being Pop, and what that's like, and how you are able to, I guess, live on through the next generation and have Amy, in a way, live on through this beautiful baby.
Yeah, well, I showed you pictures. He is a lovely baby. He's not a baby, he's 20 months. And
this is the child of your son?
My son Alex's baby. He's his son. His name's Cosmo, and he's a lovely little boy. He's got a wonderful, not aptitude, that's not the right word. He's just...
Disposition.
Disposition, that's exactly right. and I don't think I've ever heard him cry. And he's just a sweet little boy, and you know, it's a wonderful thing. You know, to be a grandfather is a blessing. For me, it's a blessing from God. And but on the other hand, of course, you know, it reminds me that Amy's not here, and she would have just, she loved kids. She would have just gone crazy. And you know, I show him Amy's picture, and he laughs, and he's too young to know who Auntie Amy is. But you know, of course, we'll tell him all about his auntie, and hopefully he'll be as proud of Amy as we are.
Has he shown any inclination towards music?
He dances when there's music on. He plays football. He plays soccer. Well, for 20 months, he's good. You know, he's good. He runs around the garden with the ball, and yeah, he's pretty good. But I don't think. Well, you never can tell, can you? But I don't know whether he's musically inclined.
Well, you're obviously musically inclined. A lot of Amy's musical talent and the songs that she loved and the songs that were in her heart were songs that she learned on your knee. And you yourself are a tremendous vocal powerhouse. Have you been performing anywhere?
Yeah, well, we just came back from Brazil. We've got a project in Brazil that we support called Afro Reggae. Again, if you think kids are disadvantaged here or in the UK, you want to see them in Brazil. I mean, they literally haven't got clothes to wear. And so we were working with a project in the favelas. We did 5 shows in Brazil, all over the place, which was an incredible, it was a privilege to be there actually. I mean, Amy's fans out there are just, I mean, they're crazy in the nicest possible way. I mean, they are wonderful, very, very welcoming, and we did 5 sellout shows. And we made a nice chunk of money, and all that money went into the Afro Reggae coffers. And again, Amy, the way that I look at it, Amy is not only feeding kids in the Caribbean, in the US and in the UK, she's now feeding kids in Brazil too. So that's a wonderful thing. And, you know, and it gets me out, and, you know, I'm doing what I love to do. What can be better than that? I sing, the projects get the money, and we can feed the kids. It's a win-win situation.
In the wake of the documentary that you obviously don't support, despite, you know, the fact that you had agreed to be part of it and the way it turned out, we've heard on a previous post how angry you are about that. There was talk that perhaps you would do a documentary. Is that something that's going to happen?
There's a number of projects that we're working on at the moment, but I'm not at liberty to talk about at the moment. But let's just say this, that image of Amy in that documentary, that will not be the defining image of Amy. There will be, you know, I guess some of the guys that are watching, some of the people that are watching this would have read my book. You know, my book doesn't pull any punches. When Amy was horrible, believe me, she was horrible. And when she was loving, she was loving. The book told the truth. And that's whatever we do in the future, it will be like that. We're not going to turn Amy into something that she wasn't. She struggled with drugs. And when she struggled with drugs, it was impossible. When she was drinking, it was an impossible situation. When she wasn't doing those things, she was a wonderful, wonderful person. Even when she was doing it, she was a wonderful person. You know, nobody knows what to do. No one has ever written a book about how to handle addiction, how to be a family member, and how to cope with addiction. So whatever we do in the future, it will reflect the truth. And that's the way that, you know, we said this to Asif Kapadia when he made when he made the documentary. We said, tell the truth. You know, we've got nothing to hide. Tell the truth. Problem was that he had such little material to deal with. He was asking other people if they've got any videos of Amy. And one of Amy's friends who had tons of videos of Amy, was going to work with them. And then when he found out what the agenda was, he didn't want to be a part of it. So that's why the film went the way that it went, because they were making a Hollywood blockbuster and they needed to do something. And of course, as far as Asif's concerned, it's got to be the family's fault. If someone's struggling with addiction, you know, what else can it be?
If there were a parent out there watching this and they have a child or a loved one struggling with addiction, what is the advice that you, Mitch Winehouse, would give to that person?
Well, seek help, and as I'm sure that they've done. You know, go to your local doctor, go to local drug counsellors. It's a very, very difficult. I have no advice. I sort of asked myself, there was so much treatment, we went to clinical psychologists. In one practice, one of the partners said to me, there's only one way to deal with this: tough love. You've got to do this, you've got to stop her money. I said, well, it's her money, I can't stop it. You know, I have no power to stop her money. And the other partner said, no, what you want to do is you want to do soft love. You know, let them know that you're there, that you love them. And I literally had two clinical psychologists almost have a fist fight in front of me. This is what I mean. There is no definitive way of how to deal with this situation. We kind of formulated our own way of, you know, letting Amy know that she was loved, never empowering her to do any of this stuff. I never saw Amy ever take any drugs. And I never saw her. Once we went out to dinner and she said to me, Dad, may I have a glass of wine? I said, of course you can have a glass. This was before she became an alcoholic. That was the only time I ever saw her put a glass to her lips. You know, there is no definitive way of dealing with this. It's very, very difficult, as unfortunately a lot of people that are watching this will know.
Well, your daughter was beautiful. If you could say something to her today on what will soon be the 5-year anniversary of her being gone, what would you want to say to her?
Come home.
Come home. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Mitch. The book is Amy, My Daughter by Mitch Winehouse. It's got the truth about Amy's life, and we very much appreciate it. Please share this post if you feel compelled. Thank you.